Hello and welcome to the 45th episode of Rambling Weekly. I'm going to talk about games because I can still do that. Yeah, totally. We're going to talk about this wonderful wave of appeasement that is game reviews to a certain degree. Yeah, well, let's get into it. Hello and welcome back. That song there is Sound of Night from Lacrimosa of Dana, East 8. I don't know, just kind of feeling a little bit of newer East music vibe there. In all sense of the word of honesty here, I actually had a entirely different episode recorded. However, I didn't like it, so I deleted it, and we're going to start this one anew. And it was a different topic, so I'm going to just kind of like shift gears from that topic, because it just wasn't, maybe because I've been sick, maybe because it's been a couple weeks, but it was really rusty, and I was not enjoying editing it. So if it got to the point where I was like, no, I don't think anybody should be subjected to it themselves. So but yeah, how is everybody doing? Hope you're doing well. As I just briefly mentioned there, yeah, it's been a couple weeks. First was Thanksgiving, and I was sick during it. And then the week before that, I had started to, but then the leaf blowers united. I have no idea, but they thought it was appropriate to, like, the day that I had to record, there was leaf blowing going on for hours on end, and I just couldn't get it. And so I got, as people would say, mighty frustrated. It's like, I'm not doing this. This is stupid. Yeah, because it started at about 9 o'clock in the morning and went till about 5 o'clock, 4:35. And it was just like, it's not like this place is that big. They're blowing like the same 3 leaves I don't know. It was annoying, and I didn't get to it, so I apologize. But yeah, we're back. Yeah, I was also sick over Thanksgiving, and I'm still recovering it to some degree. In one hand, kind of nice, not gonna lie. It feels really great to lose weight over the first leg of the holidays. However, I lost 10 pounds in a week, so a little concerning. I think I've hit not a snag, but just kind of hit that moment where, like, a plateau in weight loss, because I have started to try to get back into it to a stronger degree than what I had the last couple months, because last year I'd gained a bunch of weight from getting that leg infection and everything, and just not moving around. I chopped off a sizable portion of that and stuff, and then I kind of hit my random usual weight when I do things, I guess. I don't know, but I wanted to get back down a little bit, and it had been very, very, very slow. However, after getting sick and everything, it's like all that work and effort just kind of had happened, and I dropped 10 pounds. So cool. Let's see, anything else going on? I've been working, and that's been fine. No issues there, thankfully. Has really been too much else, honestly. I've been putting together a couple of reviews. I've got one loaded up that is scheduled, and then the other one I still got to record and stuff. I've been moving some things around, so eventually I can start adding in other game review stuff that I want to do, but I needed to have a setup to do it, and I've made the effort to make that more of a possibility. I haven't really been playing too much, though. Part of that's just from being sick and everything, and then when I have had any sort of energy, impetus, motivation to play, I've dabbled a little bit in City Skylines. I'm always awful at that. It's like SimCity. It's like, I like playing it, but I'm just too stupid to make it like really like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. This is why I was totally never, what it was, a civil engineer. No, I cannot. Anything else? Let me take a peek. I'm curious to see. Oh, I re-downloaded it because I have the 3 of them, but didn't really play much of it. But I kind of dabbled a little bit in Ninja Gaiden. This is Ninja Gaiden Sigma, I guess, but the Master Collection, so the one that came out on the Xbox way back in the day. Dabbled a little bit in that, and that's really about it. Not much else to say on the game front. I'm waiting to see if it's true that the good old GoldenEye is coming back to life. So hopefully that's the case, and it's this month. There hasn't really been anything. There's just been, I guess, the speculation of, oh yeah, GoldenEye. It's probably, possibly, likely that it'll be coming out in December. We'll see. We will see. So I think that is it for it on my front. So we're going to take a break, and then we're going to get into the topic. So stick around. Welcome back. That song there is Woods of Elevated Coral. And I didn't say this about the other song, Sound of Night, which kind of gives me Final Fantasy VII / Sora no Kiseki vibes. But this song also, less the Final Fantasy VII part, but this one makes me think of, like, field theme for, like, Zero no Kiseki or Ao no Kiseki, or, you know, even the Sen no Kiseki games. I get it. Same company, same batch of people. Totally understandable. But For a very long time, there was at least a strong differential between those two series, and as time has gone on, Ys has lost its way to a stronger degree, I would say. They that are just sort of the Kiseki games decided to take it upon themselves to be like, yes, let's use more music like that. Thanks. Cool. No exciting distinctive Ys music, as opposed to, yeah, it's all gotta be similar. Do. Can't just let it be its own thing. Do. Anyways, topic for today. I honestly wanted to talk about how annoying it is and how annoying it gets. You know, I've mentioned it before about how much I hate hype and gotta hype something up. Hype. Like, I mean, in one hand, I get it to be excited for something, but in another hand, it's a more of an annoying thing to get the let's go. It's just like I you know, anytime I do that, I'm doing that as like the obnoxious tongue-in-cheek kind of like, yeah, let's go, yeah, duh. You know, it's just like, no, just do the thing, just play the game, watch the thing, what have you. It's this weird sort of gotta. It's almost like you gotta like pep talk your own self, and it's like, I've got to be excited for this thing, because if I'm not excited, that means I don't care. How can I be a true fan if I am not excited about things that haven't come out nor will come out 4 years on end? You know, not quite the same thing, but I was catching all these different like critiques or like judgment calls on the stupid trailer for the new Super Mario Brothers movie. It's a Super Mario movie. Who cares? Why is this a thing? Like, why are the adults in the room going, yes, this is good. Everything is great about this, except for Chris Pratt, or it looks okay. I don't know. I've still not seen it. I've just seen like the little stills and stuff. It's like, oh, it's got Mario Kart in it. That's so surprising and shocking. I can't wait to discover new and exciting deep lore in Mario Kart. Are we really at this point? Why? Why do we lose ourselves in these things? Like, it's just a little. Let the kid watch the movie. Maybe they might like it. I seen that still of Peach with the giant halberd thing going to attack Mario, and the only thing I thought of was, boy, Smithy was right. You needed the weapons. Way to go. It's like, it's just like, I mean, and that's it. It's just a silly movie, which is fine. But in the same hand, it is, like I said, with the no, gotta treat the internet seriously. Like, it's serious business. No, it's a silly place. Leave it to be silly. Just like this movie. Who cares? Are we really going to opine for what John Leguizamo has to say about this? I imagine he really didn't care. I'm going to imagine that was probably one of those movies that was a bit of a black eye on his career. What's his name? Bob Hopkins? Was that who played Mario? I vaguely remember him saying something along the lines of, this is the most embarrassing thing I've ever done in my life. And for people to be like, yes, he was Mario, certainly feels like a little bit of a grave injustice, as poorly as I put those two words together like that. But grave injustice to the memory of the person. So I really am befuddled by this very critical, judgmental, and oddly, when something is silly, you put it in the silly camp, in the silly category of things. You don't put it into serious business. It throws things off, the judgmental values of things, much like a lot of the judgmental values people seem to have, especially when it comes to this new God of War game that came out, that's already being forgotten by the ethereal, cultural, dumpster garbage devouring machine known as the internet and society at large. I cannot tell you how, and it's going to happen again here soon with the next Zelda game. Zelda is pretty notorious for this as well. But just this wave of appeasement from people to be like, oh yes, 10 out of 10. This is the best thing ever. Newest, greatest thing. Blah, 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 blah. It's the reverberations of all that hype, right? You gotta justify that excitement. Not always, of course. Is this all there is? I guess that's my thing. I wanted to, a long time ago, wanted to do, like, for lack of a better way to phrase it, game journalism. Like, that was something in high school. I was like, oh, it'd be kind of neat. And then I see how far it has gone. Or maybe it was always bad. I think that was probably part of it too, was that it was just not really my cup of tea. I remember, like, trying to get everybody together to do just a little, like, gaming magazine in high school kind of thing, and we just kind of fell through in doing it. But I think the first articles was an opinion article between me and my best buddy at the time, arguing about A Link to the Past versus Ocarina of Time, and why Ocarina of Time is not a fun game. And he's like, it's a great game, blah, 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 blah. It certainly would have been just more for us to read and enjoy and just kind of banter back and forth. But it's just weird how critical people can get over the most mundane things and then be like, yes, God of War, new game, totally 10 out of 10. Is perfect. It's perfect. I mean, I get it. Grading systems and all that sort of fun jazz are a poor way of representing how somebody may feel about something, but really, that is the pinnacle. It's always a new and exciting pinnacle that we reach. There's never this is a bit of a slump. It's maybe not nearly as good. No, it is the next best thing. Next best thing. It's like, really? This new Zelda game? Is it really going to be the next best thing? I know people love up and down Breath of the Wild, but you know what? I think I've played it all for all of 5 minutes. I just can't get myself to, like, play it. I probably mentioned this somewhere before, but it's just like, this is too big of a playground. I don't need it. I don't need to be roaming around trying to find Octorok seeds or whatever the heck they're called. I don't need it. It is too boring. Like, if I wanted to go exploring, I would literally just go outside, be enamored by the tiny creek near my place, and be like, oh, it's a little cold, but it'd be nice to have some snow. It'd really make the place. But it's just, I don't know. And here, the thing that gets annoying about it as well is, and I know Zelda fans can get really up in a puff of smoke about it, but like it becomes a game of like brinkmanship there. It's like, oh, you see these people like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. And it's like, well, you got to follow the trend. And so you see these ridiculous little images of all these reviewers and stuff saying 10 out of 10. And then they slap that onto the games as well after a bit for the accolades. We're like, this game's critically acclaimed, 57 10 out of 10s, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, well, if they say, oh, well, it was okay, 8 out of 10, 4 flaming warheads out of 5. It's like the moment that they do that it isn't seen as the distillation of pure perfection like everybody else's. You get people jumping down their throats about it, and it's just like, oh, okay, all right, thanks. Sweet. This is why I do these things. This is why I talk about these things. There's no winning in that regard, because the people pat themselves on the back. Like, it gets really irritating because it's like, oh, these people act like they're a part of the thing as well. And it's like, no, you've done nothing. Stop trying to wear this as a badge as if you've done something. Grow up. Like, enjoy the silly thing that isn't quote unquote perfection. Who cares? I love Mega Man 64, or Mega Man Legends. Either one. But I will not be told nor gaslit into anything other than people looking at that game and going, wow, that's a piece of trash. Because that's exactly what it was when that game came out. Wow, that's really awful. Wow, Mega Man should go bye-bye. Wow, why is this a thing? Stick to 2D. There, Blue Bomber boy. And I very, very vividly remember the details of seeing Mega Man Legends 2 in a box of other unwanted video games like Blaster Master Blasting Off Again, in a $5 bundle, bin. There, it's Big Lots or something like Odd Lots, whatever lots. It was not a wanted game, and that cover certainly made it very much so, not desirable. But it's okay to like a thing that isn't critically acclaimed to be super duper perfect and everything, but for whatever reason, people feel like they have to justify that they were aboard of the thing that was perfect. So that's just, we just know my tastes align with everyone else's, and it is good. Yay. Like, I don't know. I just shake my head because it's annoying. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just like, it's I can't stand the hype nonsense. I can't stand the just gushing, this verbal ejaculation of just how vociferously amazing everything is, because it's the new thing in the moment, and then it's forgotten in like 2 weeks. Part of that's also the holidays and stuff. Part of it's because what have you. But yeah, I now work with people, surprisingly, and a couple of them do play games a good deal, and it's like they'll mention this, and then about a week or two later, it's the new thing. Like, a new thing's come out and stuff. There's not really like, was it Scorn or something that just came out within the last month or so? The thing that looks like that was on the cutting room floor of Alien there, or what's his name? Geiger, that artist with the very peculiar style and whatnot. I mean, that's come and gone. I mean, I get that it's not going to be a thing that sticks around forever, and it's just the initial like shock and look and everything. But yeah, I mean, there's that Jupiter with the Calypso or the Calypso incident or something like that that's coming out sometime in December. It's like a spooky, scabby game. Like, I can guarantee that's going to be something that's like, it's pretty decent, but whatever. And then it's gone. And then they just go to the next thing. It's annoying. And I wish it wasn't. Like, that's what makes it so hard to, like, talk about games or anything with other people. Part of it's because of just the wide breadth of that which is available. But also, it's just, I don't know. It's just like, okay, somehow it is playing games used to be a nice form of escapism for me. Because, spoiler alert, I did not have quite the fun social time growing up, and it was seen as a nice distraction from the annoyances of school life, of homework, and all that sort of fun things. I remember getting grounded at one point for a few months and not being allowed to play games, and it was a very, very distraught time for me. But in the same hand, it was probably a really good thing, because it's like cutting an addiction that there are other things. Life goes on. I do not quite find that joy in games any longer. I take it back. I do when I play things just kind of quote unquote by myself sort of thing, playing Caves of Quid, doing City Skylines or something. I get a little bit of enjoyment out of that. But I would have thought being able to connect with other people who shared a similar joy in games would have been great. But as time marches ever forward, it doesn't quite feel like it. No, it makes me annoyed that I like playing games, and then I feel like I shouldn't play games, because then I don't want to talk about it. Not really my thing. That's how I feel sometimes, and it's just, I wish people would be a bit more, what's the word? I don't know. I don't want to say mature, because maybe I will say this. I wish people were a bit more grounded when it came to their expressions of something, not only whether it's because they do like something, but also if they don't like something that is liked, it isn't immediately like, oh my goodness. I've probably mentioned this plenty of times before, but like, I absolutely loved was it like a 5 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10 review that somebody gave Xenogears, and I disagree with it wholly in a lot of different ways. But in the same hand, A, it was funny reading it, but B, it's just kind of like, oh, all right, stand tall and shake the heavens with your terrible gameplay and disinteresting story. That's such a fantastic little slap in the face for something that they didn't like. But in the same hand, I love Xenogears, but I'm not going to be like, what are you doing? The only time I could think of really, really getting that way is with Final Fantasy V, and that's just seeing 10 out of 10s for that, as opposed to anything of a differing opinion, where it's like, this game is not a 10 out of 10. I don't know how it could be considered a 10 out of 10. And not only that, but I'm very suspicious that every single review has it that way. Or at least, 9 out of 10. Or, I think the worst one might have been a 7. No. Just no. And, and so I made my own review that totally did not, it was denied. Because I am too pure of malice and anger when it comes to that game to be allowed to properly express my opinions on it. But I don't know. It's maybe I'm just barking up the wrong tree. That's probably what it is. I am asking too much for people to have a little bit more, or it's like I ask for that, and then we get the opposite of that, where we get way too much, where it's like, okay, I don't need a 20-hour dissertation on X game. I don't need that as well. So there's no happy in between, no happy medium, or maybe just the happy medium or people who have just kind of gone off and been like, yeah, I'm good. maybe that is the happy medium. So anyways, that's it for this topic. We're gonna take a break, and then we'll get into a quote. So stick around. Welcome back. That tune there is Crimson Fighter. Oh, it's more in the nice East vibe of things. Good action, blood pumping tune going there. The quote that I got today, part of it was used in the latest James Bond film, No Time to Die. And it's a quote that I really enjoyed. Now that I think about it, I don't know if I mentioned it in the review that I might not have, because that movie made me more than mildly mad. But I do really enjoy the quote that was used. It's by Jack London, and I'm gonna do an extended version of it here, and that is, I would rather be ashes than dust. I would rather that my spark should burn out in a brilliant blaze than it should be stifled by dry rot. I would rather be a superb meteor, every atom of me in magnificent glow, than a sleepy, impermanent planet. The function of man is to live, not to exist. I shall not waste my days trying to prolong them. I shall use my time. And I am very much of that mindset. And certainly we all stumble, and it can be hard and perhaps nigh impossible to take every day, every waking moment, and squeeze every ounce of work out of it. But I think it's important. I would like to get her on, because I think it would certainly be an interesting conversation, but somebody I work with, she wants to be a, for lack of a better way to phrase it, just like a famous musician. And I, in as poorly well, not poorly well, but I, as poorly as I am able to, like to try to prod and be like, hey, and needle and be like, hey, for better and for worse, probably, to not necessarily antagonize, but certainly skewing in antagonism to get going on doing the things that you want to do and that sort of thing. And that is the same thing. It's the same thing I do to myself. In one hand, it is such a wonderful blessing and gift to be able to crawl into writing and it be a form of catharsis for me. It is certainly cheap to just have pen, paper, and a source of light to be able to detox whatever sort of aggravation and just grumpiness that's within me. However, as I've gotten older, I have doubly fortified myself to those sorts of proclivities and those feelings and whatnot, to where it can be hard for me to fall into writing because I don't need it as a form of catharsis, because I really don't need to be cathartic. I don't need to soothe out the wounds of old time. Those wounds have healed, and as scarred as they may be, they are what they are now. With that's where a quote like this is kind of the needling of my own self to get going, to do these things, because simply put, nobody else is going to write my own stories, or nobody's going to live your life. You've got to live your life. And so when I think back on these, trumpeting of games as loudly as people do, this silly back and forth, this to borrow a line from one of the Star Trek movies. I think it was which one was it? Was it Resurrection? One of the ones with the Next Generation crew, with Picard, and they go back in time, and he's dealing with the Borg, and he's like, the line must be drawn, yeah! When that attitude is as ubiquitous as it is for everything that we do in life, that isn't living. That's a form of neurotic, I was going to say necrosis, and I'm like, that's not right. That's a form of neuroticism that just has you spinning the wheel, but the hamster's dead kind of thing. You're not doing anything. It's just, it's certainly got the energy and the motion of it, but you're just kind of, doing cartwheels in place. And it is a facsimile that seems to work in the moment, but I think it's also something that's given enough time, and whether that's just a couple hours, the next day, maybe a week, that eventually it starts to make that feedback, and that feedback comes a negative, and it's like, oh, gotta do the cycle again, gotta feel as I'm dying, gotta feel alive. Yeah, no, how you feel alive is to live, not just exist and champion something you had nothing to do with. That's just, I can't do it. And that's probably the big issue that's stuck in my craw when it comes to this sort of thing, is that that is not living as loudly and as vehemently they certainly protest about it. That is not living, and I really want nothing to do with it in that regard. So that's what I got. That's what I'm sticking with. And this fine episode is brought to you by me, Taylor. Hope you enjoyed it. And certainly better than what I had recorded, and I will not say otherwise, because you'll never know, because I've deleted it. Anyways, we're going to play out to A to Z there. If I remember correctly, it is the final boss theme from Ys VIII. I like the tune. I just hate how they went about doing that fight, because it reminds me of Dead or Alive, and I think it's the first one where you have to fight Tengu as the like final boss or whatever, and it's like everything's fine, and I don't know why games do this, where it's like, oh, here are your rules, here's the setting, here's how it is played. Oh wait, this is the final boss, we're gonna change things up. Why do you do this? Please stop doing this. And they did this in Ys VIII, and it drove me batty, where it's like the camera gets fixed behind at all, and it's just Dead or Alive. If it's the one I think it is, with Tengu as the final boss, you're stuck on a plane at an angle running at him, and it's just stupid. It's so dumb. However, A to Z, it's a good tune. So thanks for listening. Enjoy your day, weekend, weeknight, day, night, everything in between, and I'll catch you next week. So thanks for listening. Take care.